Man, I watched this episode 2 times, and I don't know if I love it more than the last episode, but I just know I'm really loving this show right now. It's pretty awesome. So here we are with episode 3 of The Mandalorian, my review of The Sin, as they call this episode. And this episode, I gotta say, it was so good, and I think Deborah Chow did a great job directing this episode. And that's what I want to start with because she directed this episode and she's going to do Kenobi. I don't know when they're going to film that, but she's going to direct all the episodes of Kenobi, which is crazy. So, yeah, that makes me excited for that. But yeah, but we got to stick with this, of course, with this episode of The Mandalorian. And it was good because you started off with, of course, the Mandalorian's coming back to this planet. I don't know what it is, what the planet is. But of course, he's bringing Baby Yoda back to turn him to Werner Herzog and the rest of the Empire crew he hangs around with. Even though Empire doesn't exist anymore, but he's hanging out with these guys because they of course want Baby Yoda for something. And of course, the Mandalorian is like, yeah, he's caring about the baby. Of course, he doesn't want to let it go, let him go into the wrong hands. Of course. But he's like, oh, I gotta do my duties. I gotta be a bounty hunter. I gotta get my best car and yeah, take all my steel and go. And yeah, it's kind of sad seeing Baby Yoda's face. And when he's being taken by the stormtroopers and that doctor they have. I don't know I forgot. It was Doctor something. I don't know. But he seems like kind of I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's that bad of an Empire guy, but he might be. Maybe he is. I don't know. But yeah, then the Mando goes back to the Mandalorian place they all gather at, and of course where they have to stay in hideout, of course, because they can't really all go back into the daylight, I guess, all at once, I suppose, because that's what they say, of course, when the Mandalorian's going to get his steel put on, because of course he's got all that Beskar now. So yeah, but I like that we're all the Mandalorians come in and confront him, and he has a little scuffle with the other Mandalorian, of course. So yeah, that really is I thought it was a cool scene. And of course, we get the flashbacks, which I think are cool. It's more extended flashbacks over what we got before, but he's getting his new Beskar armor, and of course put on. He's got the other weapons he got made from those little mini torpedoes that are later used in later in the episode. But she tells him the woman Mandalorian, I forgot who's making the weapons, of course, in the steel, is telling him, yeah, don't use these because they're pretty rare. You gotta use them sparingly. And of course, after that, he meets up with Carl Weathers' character, Grief Karga, of course, talking about the bounty, of course, and he wants his next job, of course. But you just knew he was not gonna leave, of course, the baby to the hands of Werner Herzog and those Empire guys, the stormtroopers, of course, of whoever the doctor was. So yeah, and of course we see him go back, and that's when it kind of turns into Jonah Wick and stuff. He goes back, takes out the stormtroopers, gets Baby Yoda, and I love when he uses the weapons. Of course, he uses the flames, of course, and he uses the torpedoes, those mini torpedoes that I just mentioned, you're supposed to use sparingly. But that was just cool. It was cool that they showcase a lot of the weapons he uses in this episode. He did it so in the last 2 episodes, but I thought, yeah, he used them pretty well in this one, fighting the stormtroopers. And then of course he gets out and he's confronted by pretty much every bounty hunter that's in that town, and of course Carl Weathers' character. And that's when the melee begins, because that's when it really turns into Jonah Wick. It kind of reminded me of Jonah Wick when in the second Jonah Wick and the third Jonah Wick, when all the other assassins are coming after him, but we got all the bounty hunters coming after him. And of course he wants to just get the kid out of there. And of course we see him point the gun at that droid, tell him to drive, of course. And it's just crazy when he gets the rifle out and he starts disintegrating some of the bounty hunters. That's crazy. So yeah, that all happens. The big melee ensues. And then of course the big moment of the episode was when all the other Mandalorians came out of hiding, of course, to rescue, of course, him, because he was kind of on his last life. It kind of it felt like the last episode where he has a knife out against the Mudhorn, of course, and then Baby Yoda uses the Force to help him out a bit, of course. But yeah, but you can see him right there with Baby Yoda, and it's all the bounty hunters have him surrounded. But then come the Mandalorians, and that's pretty awesome. That was pretty damn awesome. Seeing them all in action and taking down all like the other bounty hunters, of course. So yeah, that was sweet. I mean, I was like giddy pretty much this whole episode, just watching the Mandalorian fight, take out stormtroopers, and it's just like, okay, this is a pretty damn cool episode. But of course, it didn't end there because Carl Weathers' character, his character, goes. Of course, he hides out in the Mandalorian's ship, and of course, he confronts him at the end. And it was like at this moment, I thought, okay, maybe he was gonna actually go with them. So because he said like something like, "You left me no choice." I thought he was gonna just put down his weapon and say, "I'm coming with you," but no, he actually tried. He wanted to like, take him out at that moment, and then of course the Mandalorian takes him out, uses like the gas or whatever smoke there was in his ship, of course, and just shot him right there, got a point blank in like the whatever fog that was. And I thought, okay, did they kill off Carl Weathers' character? Because that would suck. I mean, his character get killed off this early, but. No, he's actually alive. The Beskar saved his life, which I thought, okay, that's cool. I want to see him more in this show. Maybe he'll come back later, because I don't know, is he actually going to be like a straight antagonist to the Mandalorian, or is he going to be more of an ally later on? Because yeah, it's kind of weird to determine what kind of character Grief is in this show. So yeah, but overall, pretty cool episode. And of course, I forgot to mention the end. Of course, Baby Yoda playing with the ball on the lever, which of course he did at the start of the episode. And the Mando's like, nah, that's not a toy. And then of course he gives it to him at the end. So yeah, really cool. I mean, it's kind of predictable that he was going to go back to get Baby Yoda, but I mean, it made all sense of the world that would happen. And of course, yeah, we knew it was going to happen, of course, with this episode. Also looking forward to the next episodes. Gina Carano's character has yet to pop up, of course, and I think she's probably going to help him along the way. So we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, interesting, because I was like, okay, Gina Carano's character hasn't appeared yet. And of course, Giancarlo Esposito's character hasn't appeared yet, but I sense he's going to be like an Empire guy that's going to be trying to track him down with a bunch of like maybe like stormtroopers, of course. So yeah, that'll probably be his character. And then I wonder if we'll see IG-11 come back. I mean, they could probably bring him back, so that'd be cool if they try to like that thing tries to hunt him down. But overall, I mean, 3 episodes in, it's just pretty awesome show. I'm loving this so far, and I can't wait to just watch it next Friday for the next episode of The Mandalorian, because this show is, just classic Star Wars at its best, really, and it just is really fun to watch. So yeah, what did you think about episode 3? Tell me down below. Was it as good as the last episode, or is it maybe not as good? Just tell me down below and tell me what you think about the series so far, 3 episodes in. So yeah, you can check out my channel for more. I'll do Fallen Order. I've been playing Fallen Order and trying to get far in that game. The 2 videos I've put up so far are kind of choppy, and the editing's kind of kind of wonky. So maybe I should get back into editing that more, put more editing into it, so to make it a little bit maybe shorter. But yeah, so you can check out those videos if you want. I'll probably more coming in the future. And until next time, I will see you folks later. This is the way.